G'day everyone and welcome to another video. It's me, it's your boy, it's Patchy. And today we're doing a bit of a different video. I thought I'd make a video on Sea of Thieves. I've recently been on leave from work, so I've just had some time to just chill and kick back. And here are some things that I've learned in those 2 weeks that I think is pretty handy for a new player in Sea of Thieves. When you raise an emissary flag, these are flags that indicate a crew status as a trading company's representative. In other words, when you level up these flags by gathering loot that is associated with these trading companies, such as skulls for the Order of Souls or chests for the gold hoarders, you get a bonus when you sell these items depending on what level you are. I think the max is like 150% extra. Before setting sail, it is worth going around the island that you spawn on, looting all you can from the barrels that are scattered around. This should fill up your food, your cannonball storage, and your wood storage, so that in the likely event that you'll be attacked by either a player, a kraken, a megalodon, you'll at least have some stuff on board that'll help you with, fighting back, fixing your ship, and healing. If you're trying to avoid conflict on the seas, best thing I can probably recommend is turning off all your lamps if it's nighttime, and also removing any glowing sails or capstans or wheels or whatever that can produce light in the middle of the darkness, because you will stick out like a sore thumb. The flag of the Reaper's mark, you want to avoid putting it on. As cool as it looks, and it does look pretty damn cool, it actually marks your location on the map so other players can see you, much like the Reaper Emissary flag does. It looks so cool, but it's not worth the unwanted attention. Gunpowder barrels. It's not really worth bringing them on board. Once you get a bit more familiar with the PvP, yeah, maybe, but even still, it's still a big risk because pretty much anything can set these gunpowder barrels off. Slice with a sword, gunshot, a cannonball, you name it. Once they go off, they can not only injure your ship, but they can also injure your crew and yourself. And if you're not around to save the ship, then what's gonna happen? You're gonna sink, right? So, best thing, probably just avoid them altogether. But if you do bring it on board, store it somewhere away from anything. Some people like to put them on the end of the ship, right at the front. Some people put them up on the crow's nest. Now, I would advise against it because if someone does shoot it, it will explode and then your mast will just come down. And then you're stuck in the water and you're just an easy target. The sea forts. Now, these places are excellent for loot. Players will take on waves of phantoms and eventually the captain of the fort. The loot here is plenty. You'll find gold pouches, skulls, artifacts, chests of the damned, mermaid gems, you name it. There's also a key hidden somewhere around the fortress that when you find it, if you head up to the top of the fortress, will unlock the storeroom. Now this will have a couple of extra chests to add to your loot from when you finish off the captain of the fortress. Once you do defeat the captain of the fortress, he will drop the treasury key, which you then take to the bottom of the fort, and there you'll find the mother load. You can also use that little crane thing to chuck all the loot on, and then you can harpoon it onto your ship later. It makes it pretty easy. That's the way I like to do it. I feel like that's pretty easy. Anchoring. So, using the ship's anchor is usually one's first guess at the best way to stop, which it is. It does stop the ship quite well. That's what it's meant for. This does, however, make it very easy to be attacked, as it takes a little bit of time to raise the anchor, especially if you're solo slooping. Try getting used to raising the sails as you approach an island and gradually coming to a stop. This takes a bit of getting used to, and I'm still getting used to it myself, but it's well worth it if you're getting surprise attacked by a ship that has snuck up on you. You can just drop the sails and you're out of there in seconds. Utilize the harpoon. So on top of being able to snatch loot and your crew, you can use it to make tighter turns. This can help you dodge objects in the water. You can even surprise other ships that are potentially chasing you. You shoot it at the ground, do a quick hook turn, and then they're broadside, and then you can just fire your cannons. Happy days. On top of that, you can use it to help you park the boat. So if you stop a little bit short and you don't want to drop the sails, raise the sails, you can just use the harpoon and that'll sort of drag your ship a bit closer to where you need to be. So stay on top of the wind direction and the position of your sails. If your sails are aligned properly, then you'll be sailing at full speed. Keep in mind that the sloop is the fastest against the wind, with the sails dead straight. Not sure how it works, but it just works. The Brigantine is the fastest ship with crosswind, and the Galleon, which is the largest ship in the game, is the fastest with the wind. So if the wind's behind that ship, nothing's getting away from it. So for example, if you're getting chased by a Galleon and you're in a little sloop and you're solo slooping, just go against the wind with your sails front and you will outpace the Galleon. I personally like to have my cannons loaded. just in case. You never know. If someone sneaks up on you or if someone just randomly attacks you, you already have your cannons loaded. You can just jump on them, fire them, and you're sorted, right? If they're not loaded, then you have to spend that extra couple of seconds loading them up, and then by then they're either out of range or they've already hit you. So yeah. So if you're doing an Order of Souls emissary quests, you will be tasked with bounty voyages. These lead players on a bounty hunt. You'll find different sorts of skeleton variants that can be quite hard to defeat. For example, skeletons covered in gold can only be shot with either your guns or your cannons. If you lead them towards the water, it'll slow them down, so you got a bit of time to, reload your guns and shoot them. The shadow skeletons are like spectral skeletons. They're actually invincible when it's nighttime. So you need to expose them to light with either your lantern or, waiting for the sun to come up, and then you'll be able to hit them. On top of that, if you see a skeleton carrying a gunpowder keg, run. Run for your life. Get a good distance away and then shoot the gunpowder keg. It should take some skellies with it, and it should even just make your life a bit easier trying to take down the rest of them, if there are any left. If your ship is taking water, keep an ear out for the death groan. It sounds like this. This is an indicator that your ship has taken on too much water and is about to sink. If you hear it, best to drop what you're doing, get the bucket out, start bucketing the water, and maybe fix the holes even. If you see random journals lying around, read them. They are great lore for the game of Sea of Thieves, and on top of that, you can get commendations which could unlock, some skin, some aesthetics, that sort of thing. My favorite one is the one that you find on Reaper's Hideout. It's on the map right here. Trust me, it's a great read. If you're going around picking fights and you see a ship with Athena flags, best to probably avoid them. These guys are most likely a very high-level pirate, which have been playing the game for a long time. They will be very experienced. To unlock Athena's fortune, you need to be a pirate legend. To do that, you need to level up 3 trading companies to level 50 in your reputation. You're granted pirate legend, which then unlocks Athena's fortune. With the emissary flags and the tables, if you see little wooden ships on them, this means that there are other players that are running that emissary flag at the current point in time. You can see my one that appears when I put my emissary flag up. We've also got cursed chests. From time to time, you may find these chests on your ventures. They are pretty rare. So you've got the Chest of Sorrow, which will randomly start crying and will actually fill up your ship with water. So if unattended, it can actually sink your ship. So as soon as it starts crying, best thing you do, start bucketing the water out if it's, calm, if you've got no one around you, if you're not in a fight, and you should be okay. Otherwise, if you've got a friend with you, right, say you're on a sloop and you've got a mate, what you can do is you can pick up the chest and just hang off one of the ladders off the sides. This will actually not fill up the ship with the water, which is real handy. On top of that, you've got the Chest of Everlasting Sorrow. So the Chest of Sorrow will eventually stop crying, but the Chest of Everlasting Sorrow is literally the same thing, but it doesn't stop. It just keeps going. You also have something called the Chest of Rage, which can overheat and eventually explode, setting things on fire. You can pour water on it with the bucket, and that should prevent it from overheating. I like to generally put these on the nose of the ship. It should hurt a bit less when and if they do blow up. And lastly, you got the Chest of 1,000 Grogs. You can probably imagine what this one does. Essentially, when you pick it up, it'll make you super duper drunk. And you'll like stagger all over the place, and yeah, it's a tough one. All these chests are obviously rarer than regular chests. I would say that it's worth the effort to carry them on board because they are worth a pretty penny. So I'm pretty sure I've missed out a whole bunch of stuff, but this is pretty much all I can think of at the moment. If there is something that you feel that is worth knowing, chuck it in the comments. I'm sure some will appreciate it. I know I probably will too. I'm always looking to learn new stuff about this game. I've really been enjoying this game recently, and all I want to do is play this bloody game. If you liked the video, also like and subscribe, and make sure to check me out on Twitch. I stream on there as well. And yeah, bye. Yar, I learnt that all at pirate school. Straight R's. I'm stealing that joke, Sen, sorry.